The prosecution for the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. This is a guy that needs to convince a jury of 12 what Kyle did was wrong, what Kyle did was bad that night, that he was not justified to do it. He needs to convince 12 people what he did was dangerous and criminal. This is how he does it. You got to see this. You got to see what this prosecutor does to the jury. Have you been watching the trial? I've been going crazy in my mind watching it. Literally going, the criminal justice system does not work. It doesn't work anymore. It's not real anymore. It's fake. It's filled with lies. What I'm watching, I can't believe what they get away with. They're not allowed to tell. And then this prosecutor, commits a criminal offense, but nobody's really talking about it. There's no volume. He's going to grab a gun here. Watch what he does with the gun, okay? He picks it up. Points it. Who's he pointing the gun to? He's pointing the gun to the jury. That is what I'm told. He points the gun to the jury. At the jury. At people. No big deal, right? If I went outside with a gun like that, or a gun, loaded or unloaded, and I pointed it at my neighbor, doesn't matter if it's loaded or unloaded, I get charged with something called pointing a firearm. I think that's what it's called. Don't call me on it. I think it's Section 87 of the Criminal Code. I don't know. I can't remember, but it's something like that. It's an offense. It's called pointing a firearm. You're not allowed to do it. You could go to jail for 5 years. This trial is getting wackier and wackier. And I watched it live when he did this. I watched it live. He picks up the gun. He does no safety check on the gun. He doesn't make sure that the gun is cleared. Sometimes it takes several minutes to do checks on a gun. If somebody gives me a firearm, I have to do my checks. Sometimes it takes several minutes. He does none of this. He assumes it's unloaded. I don't care if the guy did it before him. When somebody, it's basic firearms. This guy doesn't use firearms. He doesn't have a clue with fire, and he's prosecuting a case about firearms. He knows nothing about firearms, doesn't know how to use them, doesn't understand firearms. You can clearly see it. This is a dude that doesn't get it. You get a gun given to you, you clear it, you make sure it's unloaded. I can't believe what I'm seeing. This world is getting nuttier and nuttier, and I can't believe what I'm watching on this trial. Right now they're sitting and they're deliberating. The jury's deliberating. They're going to come up with a decision. And I just wanted to come on here and make this short and sweet. But you got to see this, right? The finger's off the trigger, right? He has that much sense to not put his finger on the trigger. You never put your finger on the trigger unless you're going to pull the trigger. Not only does he not safety check the gun, he puts his finger on the trigger while he points it at the jury. What a moron. You're an idiot. You don't get more careless use of a firearm than that. Why isn't he getting arrested? Why isn't he getting charged? I'm sure they'll come up with something. Well, it's a controlled environment. There's no control there. That's an uncontrollable person right there. That's dangerous. He should be on trial.